What's up, guys? It's your boy Darkskin, and today we're going to be talking about should you buy the Malevolent Knight outfits. Now, this is the part 2. If you guys don't know, part 1 was here, but it's no longer here. Part 2 is now here. So if you click this, as you can see, we have all the Malevolent Knight outfits. Well, the second part, part 2, obviously, that is here. Now, the question is, should you buy these outfits? Now, before we get into that, if you guys don't know, the part 1 Malevolent Knight outfits are now out for gyms, right? They're now out for gyms. You can get Escanor, Meliodas, and Merlins for gyms. You can get the full thing for 90, or you can get one piece for 30. I talked about it in my last should you buy, but if you guys don't know, right? I know a lot of free-to-play players are like, well, Darkskin, should I buy, should I buy this outfit for gyms? Should I do this? What should I do? As a free-to-play player, 100% necessity. You need to do this. You want to buy, or you need to buy, Escanor's weapon, because he's getting an additional 7% pierce rate. So, like, he's getting 7% from this weapon, and he's getting 8% from this weapon. So that's a lot of pierce rate he's getting added on, right? So 100%, you want to be getting this weapon. Like, if nothing else, right, you want to get this weapon. It is worth the 30 gems. Also, where is Blue Demon Meliodas? Also, you 100% need to get this weapon as well, because it is also 7% pierce rate. Very, very, very good weapons for Meliodas and Escanor. If you don't know, Blue Demon Meliodas thrives off of pierce, and so does Escanor. That's where a lot of his damage comes from. So those two units, you get their weapon 100%. If nothing else, get their weapon. Now, after that, if you want to know what's worth, the headpieces are worth because HP gives the most combat class, and like UR HP headsets are just hard to come by. So if you want to do that, cool, you can. I'm just saying, like, 100% every single player in the game should get Meliodas and Escanor's weapon, bare minimum. Those should be what you get. Now, anything after that is debatably up to you. I know a lot of you guys are going to ask about Merlin. Merlin doesn't really need Pierce. I mean, Pierce is cool and all. Like, you can definitely use it, but she does not need Pierce rate. Not near as much as, Meliodas, Escanor, etc. Now, to talk about this week's, right? The part 2. Should you get these? Now, as always, I will say, getting a full UR set for $24 and 30 gems back is super worth, right? It is super worth, because I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, well, Darkskin, how is it worth? That's $25. Let me just show you, right? For $24 or whatever, $24, you get 30 gems plus 11. So 41 gems. Each piece costs 30 gems already. So 3 UR pieces is 90 gems. And they're giving you 30 gems on top of that. So that is 120 gems. Whereas normally, you would pay $24 for 41 gems. So you are getting about 50 extra gem worth of, purchase. Like, if you buy those for the $24, $25 cost. It's super worth. Now, for free-to-play players, I know you guys are free-to-play. I know you guys don't, it's like, well, Darkskin, what should I do? What should I get? All of the outfits have the same stats across everybody, right? You get crit resistance here. You got, regeneration rate here. And then obviously on the weapon, you have pierce rate. That's across the board. Every single character has that exact same thing. If you want to go look at Deanne, it's the same thing. Crit resist, regeneration rate, pierce rate. Same thing. Now, for those of you that are asking, is there anyone that's like super worth for me to get out of the part 2? Or is there anything that's super worth? Because, if you, like I said, Gother, Deanne, King, and Bon all got their gear. I'm going to be 100% honest. The only character and I mean only, the only character that it is worth to get anything for out of all of these characters is King, right? If you guys don't know, King hits like a truck. And I don't mean no regular truck. King hits like a truck and a half times infinity. I don't know. But King is going to be the unit you probably get 6/6 in the coin shop first. Not to mention his ultimate ignores resistance, which is a big factor. And King naturally has high pierce rate, right? My Meliodas pierce rate right now is 53.5. 53.5. King has more pierce rate than Meliodas. Now, granted, I understand. Escanor has even more, but that's just because that's how Escanor is. That's Escanor. King has one of the highest pierce rates in the game, right? Like, out of every unit, King has one of the highest pierce rates. So, getting his weapon is just going to add on to that pierce rate, is going to add on to that damage, etc. Not to mention his passive is giving him attack percents as well. So it's like all of that just multiplies into itself. If you use King a lot, getting his weapon is a very good thing because you're going to be going HP defense on him anyways. So you going HP defense on him getting those extra attack percents, or, well, pierce rate, which equates to damage percents, is going to be very, very good if you're using King quite a lot. Now, I know a lot of people, or some people, you know, however many amount of people, think that King is overrated or he's not as good as people say, and that's perfectly fine. If you don't think King is worth it, if you don't think King is as good as people say, if you don't think you're going to use King that much, etc., you do not have to get King's weapon. Another good thing to get for King, if you do want to invest in him fully, would be his entire set. Now, I would not say this for anybody else. The only reason I'm saying this for King is because of how he works. And what I mean by that is, not only do you run HP defense on King, so the headpiece is getting multiplied into the stats, and the outfit is getting multiplied into the stats, but the headpiece, regeneration rate. King is a tanky character out of the fact that you run HP defense and how his passive works and it multiplies into it. Regeneration rate is going to be very good for King to keep him topped off on his HP as much as possible. I usually wouldn't care about regeneration rate when it comes to almost any unit, but for King, it's not a bad stat to have. On top of you getting extra HP, moving on to his uniform, defense, always a good stat. He's going to be boosting his defense with his passive. On top of crit resistance is always going to be good, because if you guys don't know, King's base crit resistance is 0. King's base crit resistance is 0. So the higher the crit resist, the more likely it is for him to not get crit from Escanor, Meliodas, all of those units and all of those teams that can beat him, right? Not to mention recovery rate is super high for King, right? If you look at most other units, or in regeneration rate, well, that's regeneration rate. Regeneration rate 13% is not super high. Him having it at 0 is like worst case scenario, because like if you look at other units, their regeneration rate is usually higher. They intentionally made King's lower because he can heal, he can cleanse. His recovery rate super high based off of his healing. They basically made that. That's why they made his regeneration rate low. So the higher that is, the perfectly fine it is. On top of like just all the stats that King gets, super worth. So out of any of these, King would be the only character you get anything out of. If you want to use him, I say get his weapon. If you really want to invest in him, get the entire outfit. No one uses Deanne. I get it. So I understand that's just what it is. I mean, you can get her weapon as well because her ult hits harder than King's ult. So if you want to get her weapon, cool. I know a lot of people don't really use her though, so I don't think it's really worth. She's not really a super meta pick. Gowther, it's Gowther, right? Don't get me wrong. Gowther is a very good unit, but I do not think it's worth to get Gowther, especially over King. I feel like King is just a bigger threat, 100%. people are like, Gowther doesn't need a weapon. Let's be real. Like, that's not what Gowther's used for. Him having extra HP is cool and all, but as I said, I feel like in any team, Gowther is not going to be the main conflict. Like, if you're looking at ult rush, they're going to be looking at the ult rushers. They're not going to be looking at Gowther. Gowther usually isn't the first person you rush ult with. He's like a secondary pick. If you look at mono red, the main problem is Arthur and Escanor, or humans, Arthur, Escanor. So Gowther is never really the problem. And that's why his passive is what it is, because he's never really the problem. He never really takes damage. So, like, I just don't think it's worth, especially not over King. So if anybody would be worth in this set, it's probably, as a free-to-play player, it'd probably be King. Right? Now, obviously, if you're a whale or whatever, then you can do what you want. But as a free-to-play player, 100% buy Meliodas weapon, 30 gems. Escanor weapon, 30 gems. As a free-to-play player, I don't really think it's worth to get any of the Part 2 outfits, to be honest. Unless you want to. Like, say it's like, hey, Darskin, Deanne's one of my favorite characters in the whole show. I love her. Then by all means, do what you want to do. I know some of you guys are going to ask about this character. Where's he at? Am I tripping? I know some of you guys are going to ask about this character. And to answer your question, anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Be sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Comment down below. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. With that being said, I will see you guys next time. Peace.